Okay, so the topic of this flipped learning session is genetic equilibrium. How exciting. Okay, so basically what this means is exactly like it sounds, equilibrium meaning stable, and genetics, obviously genes. So it means that there are no changes to the gene frequency of alleles or genes in a population over time. Okay, so obviously we remember that alleles is variants of a gene or variants of a particular characteristic or genotype, and a population has to satisfy 4 conditions to be in genetic equilibrium. Now, I will just preface that genetic equilibrium obviously does not happen very often at all, and you will find out why. Okay, so here are the 4 conditions of genetic equilibrium. So the first is that the population must be large, okay? This means that it's very unlikely that chance alone could significantly alter the gene frequencies. If you have a smaller population and you have alleles within it, there is a much greater likelihood that some random event may happen. For example, you may have a group of organisms be killed off or separated or something, meaning that you actually lose that entire allele. So in isolated small populations, there's large susceptibility to random fluctuations in the gene pool, which can easily lead to the loss of an allele from the population. And you obviously don't want that for equilibrium. Okay, number 2, mutations must not occur, or there must be mutational equilibrium. Now we know that mutations always occur. You can't stop mutations from occurring, so that condition is never met. Mutational equilibrium just means that if you have, for example, 2 alleles, this allele is mutating at the same amount as this allele as this one is mutating back to this allele, okay? So that they're mutating to each other equally. So again, you'll have a stable number of alleles, and this is very rare, and we know that mutations don't really work like this. Mutations will usually mutate to something different or change an allele. So this condition really isn't met in real life situations. Okay, number 3, there must be no emigration or immigration. Okay, so we know emigration means migrating outwards, immigration means migrating inwards, and emigration or immigration can result in the gain or loss of alleles. For genetic equilibrium, you don't want this, you want stable amount of alleles, so stable genetic conditions. But migration occurs naturally and does enhance variation. So again, this condition is very rarely occurs in the natural environment. Okay, the last one is reproduction must be totally random. This condition again is also almost never met, and non-random mating is actually synonymous with evolution, meaning that for evolution to occur, we have this differential reproduction where organisms that are better selected to the environment reproduce more often and produce more offspring. Okay, so they'll be more appealing to the mates, and those genes will be passed down differentially. So, as I've said a few times already, these factors are rarely or never met in the natural environment, and because of this, evolution occurs and we don't have genetic equilibrium. So if you think genetic equilibrium is actually the opposite of evolution. Alright, thanks for listening everyone.